What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. In today's video we are checking out one of the latest phones from Xiaomi called the Mi 11i. So this is kind of like a cheaper flagship, if that makes any sense, because inside this phone we have the same CPU that we have in the Xiaomi Mi 11, in the Samsung Galaxy S21, the OnePlus 9 Pro and a bunch of other flagships out there. But this one is cheaper, so we have that Snapdragon 888 that's paired with 8 gigs of RAM and in my case 256 gigs of internal storage. But this phone actually gets a higher Antutu benchmark score than my Xiaomi Mi 11, which is pretty impressive for a cheaper device. Alright, so the phone comes in a box that we've seen many times in the past from Xiaomi, so a very familiar looking box. Inside the box you're obviously gonna find the phone itself. Mine is the black color or the gray color, it looks something in between. It really depends how the light hits the back, it looks lighter or darker depending on the situation, of course. But I can definitely tell you that if you are using this without a case, you will have a lot of fingerprints on the back. I'm not sure if you can actually see that on the camera. Talking about the case, there is a clear case that comes in the box, definitely a nice addition. This way you don't have to spend money on an additional case. There are some booklets in there. There is a USB-C to a 3.5mm audio jack adapter, so you can use some regular headphones with your phone. There is a USB-C cable and a 33-watt fast charger. So this phone is not gonna charge as fast as the regular Xiaomi Mi 11, but still, charging it from 0 to 100 it will be done in under an hour. Oh, and don't forget to press that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Alright, going back to our phone, well, this looks a bit different than the regular Mi 11. I'm actually gonna do a full comparison between this one and the Mi 11 in a day or two. But for now, this is basically a smaller phone. We have a screen that's a 6.67 inches AMOLED panel. We have a 1080p resolution. With the Mi 11 we do get a higher resolution than this one. But still, this is one of the most beautiful screens that I've seen on any mobile device. Not to mention the screen does get extremely bright. So the maximum brightness is 1300 nits. Just to give you an example, the maximum brightness on the Mi 11, so the regular Mi 11, it's 1500 nits. So still a beautiful screen that gets super bright. So you're gonna be able to see this screen no matter where you go. As you'd expect, the phone has a metallic frame all around it. So we have glass on the front, glass on the back. Basically, on the right hand side of the frame, we have the volume buttons and the power button. And the power button is also a fingerprint scanner. Personally, I prefer physical fingerprint scanners over the ones that are in screen. I find that these ones work better. And of course, that's the case with this one. So all you have to do is touch that fingerprint scanner and the phone will unlock right away. So it is extremely quick. At the top we have the IR blaster and some holes for the second speaker. So this device has one speaker at the top and one speaker at the bottom. So whenever you are watching videos on YouTube, listening to music, you do have two speakers and the speakers sound really good as well. And at the bottom here we have the slot for the SIM card. This device can take two SIM cards, so it cannot take an SD card. I know that is a bit unfortunate, but it doesn't. Next to that we have the USB-C port, we have the hole for the microphone and the second speaker. As I mentioned earlier, the back of the phone is made out of glass and yes, it does look like a mirror, you can definitely see yourself in it. And on the back there we have three cameras, but the cameras are a bit different than the cameras that we have on the regular Xiaomi Mi 11. So the main camera is a 108 megapixel sensor, but unlike the regular Mi 11, this one doesn't have optical image stabilization. Now, I did try a lot of phones without optical image stabilization. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I actually took about 100 pictures with this phone already, so it's not going to be a problem, but technically the camera on the regular Mi 11 would be better. But again, that is the more expensive device. Next to that, we have a 8 megapixel ultra wide camera and then we have a 5 megapixel macro camera. And I did take a bunch of pictures with all three cameras and the pictures do look really good. But I will have a full camera comparison between this and the regular Mi 11 in maybe 2 days or maybe 3 days. I'm also working on a comparison between this one and the iPhone 12. Okay, so this phone can also record in 4K at 30, 4K at 60 and even 8K with the rear camera. But for the front camera, you can only record in 1080p at 30 and 1080p at 60 frames per second. So you're not going to be able to do 4K recordings with the front camera. That front-facing camera is a 20 megapixel sensor and now the positioning of it is also changed. So before the regular Mi 11 it was sitting on a side, now it's kind of sitting in the center and at the top of the screen. And we also have a little silver ring. I'm not even sure if I can actually show you that on the camera. You can see depending how the light hits that silver ring around it. The phone comes pre-installed with MIUI 12.0.3 and of course that's based on Android 11, but I was actually surprised that this doesn't have MIUI 12.5 on it. My regular Mi 11 actually got MIUI 12.5 the other day, so I was actually expecting this one would come pre-installed with that, but no, but hopefully it will get that soon enough. As you'd expect with that Snapdragon 888 and 8 gigs of RAM, the phone does perform extremely well for pretty much everything that you're gonna be doing on it. And of course, I do have to use the phone a bit longer. I haven't had enough time with it. I can't really tell you how it does if you play games for like 3 hours and so on. So I do need a bit more time so I can tell you more about it. But I will cover all that in the full review that will follow up in like, I don't know, a week or so. Of course, there is an NFC chip inside, so you can make payments with the phone. And one thing I've noticed, well, I kind of knew about it before, the phone doesn't support wireless charging, so you have to plug it in every time you want to charge it, unlike the regular Mi 11 that does support wireless charging and reverse wireless charging. One thing I forgot to mention when I was talking about the screen, the phone also supports that always-on display because obviously we have an AMOLED screen. So if you like having the screen on at all times, yes, this phone can work with that. So I was very happy to see that. So there you have it. This is a super quick look at the brand new Xiaomi Mi 11i. I will have more videos coming up in a few days after I get a chance to use the phone for a bit and get a better feel for it. Not to mention that I will have that camera comparison, that first camera comparison up tomorrow. Alright guys, don't forget to press that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.